It's like I said earlier. It wasn't anything that I disagreed with him necessarily. It was more. It was just never my idea to to protest like that. I've always felt certain injustices. Every person of color has felt that sometime at some point in this country. Pretty sure you have.
Yeah.
And so um, I've always just been taught to move about your business and try to help people as you can. But I've never really used. I never do charitable acts in front of cameras, or I try not to because I just feel it's not very genuine. But the platform that we have and that the conversation that he started, I just felt like it was a good way to show my support for that, to continue the conversation.
Arian, those conversations that you guys had on the plane, Kenny talked about guys coming by on the plane and having conversations. Mm-hmm. What were those conversations like, and what do you feel you got to sometimes open up other people's eyes when it comes to your issues?
Well, I'm not an activist, man. I'm just another human being that is trying to figure it all out just like everybody else. I know my experiences. I know what I've learned. And those kind of conversations probably would have never came up if, Kaepernick would have never taken me in the first place, especially in our locker room. Anytime you talk politics or religion or anything of that sort, where it gets a little deep and a little personal, I feel like if you're in the conversation for the right reasons, both parties can grow from it. It's hard to change a grown man's mind, but you shouldn't be trying to. You should be just trying to gain perspective on other people.
Aaron, obviously you've been getting a lot of backlash. If I don't know, if public backlash is the right word, but reaction that you've been subjected to, or treated to, or felt, or besides us. I mean.
Y'all didn't give me any backlash, man. Not to my face anyway, but it's a lot of the social media is basically. I haven't had anybody come up to me personally and display any kind of disrespect or death threats or ill will to my family in my face. It's basically just over the internet and other public figures saying they're disgusted at what we're doing and things like that. But that's gonna come with it. You can't expect everybody to understand an experience. You can't dish out an experience. I can't tell you about an experience. You'll never feel it. So you can't expect everybody to understand.
So you went and looked at your social media?
Yeah.
Just to see what the reaction was.
Oh yeah.
Arian, is that what needs to be?
Say about Colin that he did this particular movement, for lack of a better word, that he did it by himself, knowing that first guy through the wall, he's going to get bloodied a lot in terms of backlash and all that.
I think he knew. Yeah, he knew. I think he has probably a good support system around him to probably encourage him to go through with it. I don't think he just did it on a whim. I think he was well thought out.
That took a lot of courage.
I believe so. Yeah.
What now? What beyond the games? What's the next step for this movement?
Well, this has been going on for decades. This is not our fight.
Okay, right,
This is the fight has been inherited from our fathers and our mothers and our grandfathers. It's not something that we started. We didn't start anything. We kept the conversation going. Systemic racism in this country has been a problem since we were brought here as slaves, and that's how deep it gets, and I think that's the bigger issue is police brutality is a part of it, but it's also the prison systems, the school systems, education, everything that entails what is systemic racism in this country and how it affects people moving forward. It affects people's judgments, decisions. It affects people's vantage points. And that's why I think the conversation is so important. It's more important to create a healthy dialogue. It's easy for you to just sit here and say, "Shut up, you stupid nigger," rather than saying, "Why do you feel like that?" And if you do feel like that, like tell me more about it. If it's just so easy to hate. If you really proclaim to be a true American, freedom runs in our bloodline, right? It's supposed to. And so if somebody's telling you they don't feel like they're free, then why wouldn't you listen to them if you're an American?
Arian, in your mind, what would constitute a happy amount of change?
Well, I don't think I'll see the change that everybody would feel like there's equality in my lifetime. But I think just moving forward, it's continuing the conversation. It's continuing to inspire other people to understand that there is still a fight going on. I think that's the main thing. Is just continuing the conversation, continue doing work in the communities, continue to try to help get funding for schools, supporting kids and their dreams and their goals, and educating them. I think that's the next step of what we do, what we continue. It's not a new thing.
Arian, how many teammates do you expect to join you next Sunday?
I'm not sure, man. I'm everybody that has knelt has, gotten a lot of backlash publicly, and it takes a lot of courage. But one thing I can say is I appreciate the owner of this organization, that he came out and said that he supports it because it's an important topic to talk about. We're not trying to disrespect anybody. We're not trying to do anything but create awareness, and that's all it is. It's just awareness, and we're all very genuine about it. It's not anything that's, like I said, it's not anything that's new. You look at the current modern activists of our generation. They've been saying the same thing for years, but when an athlete takes a knee, then you get this. You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it, in my opinion. It's worth all the backlash, because then you get that message across. Like I said, I'm by no means a scholar or a historian, but I know enough to understand that something is wrong, and in order to point you into the right direction of where to get that correct information, to educate yourself on the problems that are still plaguing this country.
Arian, they say that the difference between a moment and a movement is sacrifice. Was there ever a time where you thought to yourself, I could really stand to lose a lot here, by the stance that I'm taking, or you just go into it fully knowing,
Yeah, of course. Of course. But like I said, I don't think this is as big a deal as people are making it out to be. I think it's just like anything else in the world today, as far as media is concerned. It's new and it's sexy, and so it's gonna get media attention. But I didn't never think that it was gonna be like, we're not harming anybody, we're not doing anything wrong per se. So it's not anything that's really altering anything. It's just bringing awareness. And since I feel like Colin knew that taking a knee would bring controversy and continue to spark the conversation.
So Arian,
last one, guys.
The most important part is what you guys do from here. You have the attention now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the point of it.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's just like I said, the owner of this organization has come out and said he supports what we are doing. And he is the founder of a foundation called Rise, and he does a lot of work in our communities. And I was unaware of that before I took a knee. And so just that connection between myself and him can spark a lot of good. And we're gonna talk a lot this week and see what we can get done going forward. And I'm gonna continue the work that I've done on smaller scales. But we're all gonna try to continue to touch lives of people who need help, and that's what this is all about. And trying to inspire others to do the same thing if they're worried about backlash or worried about anything. There are people out here who support you, and for the people that need support, there are people out here that want to help and are going to try.
All right, thanks, guys.